Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Figures in Action. And today what we have is man, a real cool project, and I kind of like the way this came out, and I like the way it came about. So I was contacted by someone who had gotten a diorama from me. I don't remember if I'm pretty sure he commissioned the diorama at some point. Because sometimes I sell smaller ones, or I do like recently I kind of did those 6 little blind box dioramas, so don't remember specifically. But anyway, so he hits me up and he has a design in mind. So that's great. That's great. Anytime you can give me an idea and you can kind of draw it out, that's always a bonus. It's always a plus. It doesn't happen that often. Usually people just kind of they give me an idea of what they want in terms of the theme, and a lot of times we're basing it on their budget. So there's a couple different factors that come into play. He had a very specific kind of drawn out dial, so I created a proposal for him in terms of fitting it to his budget, the sizing and so forth, and we agreed. He agreed to it, and so away we went. So basically, he wanted kind of like like an entrance to, or maybe another side entrance or an additional entrance to a some sort of a factory, and he wanted it to kind of have levels. So this would be kind of the sidewalk, then kind of factory property type of thing, then a building there itself. So originally, when he actually sent me the drawing, it did not have kind of this roof part. So kind of the drawing kind of looked like that. And then at some point, after kind of completing it, I really didn't like it that it didn't have, especially because of how kind of compact and symmetrical the piece is. It just didn't. It almost, because for example, I did the sidewalls there, and so in creating that, it's almost like you almost create this other angle where he can actually take some pictures with these, kind of angling it in a certain way. And again, it just gives him more options for different pictures, and that's always a big plus for me. As many different scenes, as many different angles as you can get from a dial, the happier I am. So, and just kind of thinking about it like that, thinking a bit in terms of, he's gonna get a couple of different angles if, let's say, he uses it like this. I just didn't like the idea of having no roof, so I added that. That's not something that was part of the proposal. I just thought it looked better, and I didn't get too fancy with it. I just kind of put like a little trim here so you can see that. So real quick, let's a couple things. First and foremost, I found out a few weeks ago that the fencing that I use, and a lot of us use, this is basically insulation, not insulation, excuse me. It's gutter mesh wire. So it's gutter mesh wire. So what I like about it is that if you look at kind of the design, it looks like like a fence, like any normal fence, and it scales really well with 6-inch dials. Someone had posted that they kind of changed the design so it doesn't look like a chain link fence anymore. So I went and investigated, and there was about 8 rolls of the new stuff that does not look like a chain link fence. There was 1 roll left of what the old, kind of the old design. So I grabbed that, thankfully, because I was out of fencing. So now I'll be okay for a couple of years, because usually I don't, unless I get a project that uses a lot of fencing. So this is just that gutter mesh wire. You cannot find it at Home Depot. They'll look at you like they have no idea what they're talking about. This is a Lowe's product. So he wanted, 2 of the things that he had mentioned that he really wanted was kind of bullet holes on the outside wall, and he wanted kind of a crater, kind of a impact type of effect on the floor. So what I did is, in creating the bullet holes, research bullet holes, and I've done bullet holes before, kind of the idea became, well, if you shoot a wall, for the most part, you're going to kind of get the clean, dusty part of the cement, the cinder block, that'll kind of leak out. So I kind of gave it that effect. Did the same thing there with the brick, and kind of gave it that orange effect as if it was coming from, kind of that dustiness that's coming if you shoot a brick. And did a couple of bullet holes up there. He wanted kind of an impact effect. I had never created an impact effect, but I like how this one came out. Just it could have been anything that landed there. And just did a couple different little rubble debris type patches. These are all, glued down and permanent, so none of this comes off. Used insulation foam board for the entirety of the project in terms of the core build of it. And let me take Laura out of here. For the door, I went with two different styles. So I used in the back, it's kind of a circular mesh. I guess in the sewing section of AC Moore, where I get my mesh, my mesh sheets or whatever, they have circular ones. And so I had grabbed some because you can cut them out and they can look like, you can press them into the foam and they'll look like sewers. So I had some of those, so I kind of thought it would be really cool to put that, especially because these boxes are kind of larger. And this is just what I use for the dojos. Had a piece fitted into the door, so you kind of get that metal, and then in the background, again, just because like a legend's hand would fit through there type of thing. So I wanted to put that secondary security. The windows are made from scratch. It's not the easiest thing to make windows from scratch, man, but it's always a good time, and it just gives me more experience. These were built kind of similar to how I've built some windows, where you're cutting out a little section in there, kind of that cross section type thing, where you're cutting out and gluing it together, and it just ends up being flush. So I kind of did that throughout the framing, so that inside of here it's cut out so that this kind of lands right into it, and just kind of, you know, it flushes out with everything. Those pieces of kind of broken window are just action figure packaging. Same thing with the sign here that I've been doing lately, just using kind of the metal tape so you can kind of shape and shift the signage a little bit. These little guys are removable, so it kind of gives them an option to take shots and not have to have those little walls there. And obviously the fence is removable as well. So now that we've already taken a couple pieces off, we can just take it apart. Got that. This piece is not magnetized. You can just lay it there and kind of shift it back a little bit, forward a little bit, depending on the kind of shot he's going to take. And then it's magnetized. The corners are magnetized there. And then there is no magnets kind of in the front. And then this piece is just magnetized. Both of these pieces are magnetized to this. Ultimately, when you take it apart, you kind of have that piece, that root piece, the two side pieces, a little bit whole mini walls, and then the two fences. So once you kind of break everything down and you put a Marvel Legends figure there, you see that the height of it allows him to kind of put it away and not have to keep it out if he doesn't want to keep it out, and it just makes it easier for me to ship. So pictures are coming up. If you guys have any questions. I just got up from a nap. I usually stumble over my words. Generally, I stumble over my words, but I just got up from a nap a little while ago. Just got back from vacation a few days ago, and I'm trying to get ready mentally to go back to work. So this is a piece I had finished before I went on vacation. I have 3 pieces in front of me that I need to finish up very soon. And, actually, 2 pieces. And away we go. Peace.